Oh man, is it that time again? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, it is. Welcome to the Cave Within. We have returned the midweek deep flow of the Cave Within. It's been a while since I've done the midweek deep flow of the Cave Within, but for those who are listening on a regular basis to the broadcasts on the Cave Within, I just want to apologize for not doing as many midweek deep flows as I would like. As you know, life be life, and sometimes, and I lose track of things every now and then. It happens. But we have made the grand return as far as the midweek deep flow here at the Cave Within for all my regular broadcast listeners. And for those who are listening for the very first time and are wondering what the concept of the midweek deep flow is, well, first and foremost, welcome to the Cave Within. My name is Clifton Pope. I am the founder and CEO of Health Fitness Wealth Business, your ISA certified personal trainer, exercise transformation specialist, HFWB podcast series host, yours truly. I am also an author and I am also a speaker. And you are tuned into the Cave from Within, your live ambient sanctuary for all things poetry, meditation, and stillness. And like every broadcast, we're basically unwinding and returning to ourselves through a balanced fusion of poetry, breath work, ambient sound, and frequency based immersion. And basically, the midweek deep flow is my way of going a little bit deeper into that, especially in the middle of the week, especially for those overloaded achievers, busy parents, professionals, and entrepreneurs who have started off the week a little bit more chaotic than necessary. This midweek deep flow for the cave from the cave within, this is for you. And like always, this is also for the restless souls, the night healers, the deep feelers, the overthinkers, as I just described, or anyone who needs a safe place to slow down. The Cave Within is your home to do exactly that. Because this is a live digital sanctuary for people who want to unwind at night, who want to study or focus, who want to sleep, reflect, journal, pray, meditate, have some form of moment of silence to where they can just escape reality for a little bit and feel more spiritually and creatively recentered. Again, the cave within is your place to do that because we're coming in hot like we always do in the cave within. And I know, y'all are probably wondering what tonight's theme is going to be for the cave within. Well, I figured we go into a different direction, and this is based on a collaboration that I've kind of been working on a little bit. One of the many collaborations that I'm working on for sure. And let's just say we're going to dive a little bit more into conviction, and we may touch on a little bit of dogma, which is always an interesting topic. So I figured this would be the perfect theme for this midweek deep flow for the cave within, which is conviction gives you direction, and dogma can make direction impossible to question. So we're focusing on conviction and dogma a little bit today because, again, conviction can guide you towards the truth, integrity, compassion, and purpose, while dogma, when it becomes rigid and unquestionable, right, it can make people afraid to examine what they believe, how they live, or how their beliefs affect others. So tonight, we are is not tonight is pretty much like this. It's not about attacking anyone's faith, it's about making room for discernment. So if your mind has been spinning, if your week has been heavy leading up to this midweek deep flow, as we are on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026, can y'all believe we're already 9 days left until the end of July, which means summertime is already just about over, if not pretty much a little more than halfway about to be over. But regardless, if your soul needs a room to sit down, the cave from within is that room. And I want to thank y'all once again for tuning in to another live broadcast of the Cave Within, your midweek deep flow. Again, today is July 22nd, 2026, coming to you live here in an undisclosed location, aka my home, the undisclosed location, because I'm not going to tell y'all exactly where I live. That would be kind of ridiculous. So let's just say I am from the comforts of my own home in an undisclosed location. But anywho, let's establish some stillness. Let's ground ourselves a little bit like we always do here within the cave within. Let's kind of take that slow breath in to the through the nose. Kind of inhale for maybe about 3 to 5 seconds or so, and then hold your breath for again 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly exhale through the nose or through the mouth again for about 3 to 5 seconds. And then once again, proceed to inhale through your nose, holding your breath for again just 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly exhale through the nose or through the mouth again for just 3 to 5 seconds. And as you breathe in through your nose and as you breathe out through your nose or through your mouth, let your shoulders drop, relax your jaw, soften your hands, release yourself from any tension or stress that you may be experiencing in this particular moment in time, because you do not have to perform here in the cave within, and you do not have to prove anything in the cave within. Like always, all you have to do is simply arrive, y'all. All you have to do is just simply arrive. So before we move into the poetry section of the cave within, like we always do, again, I want us to settle into our body just a little bit more. Let's continue to ground ourselves. Let's create that environment of discernment for sure. And if this feels comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes, soften your gaze like you always do. And I want you to feel the surface that's supporting you as you breathe in through your nose, holding your breath for 3 to 5 seconds, and then exhaling slowly for again 3 to 5 seconds. And again, just feel the surface supporting you as you breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose or mouth. Notice your breath without forcing it. Again, notice your breath within each inhale, inhaling that calm, cool, and collectiveness, and exhaling that stress that we may have built up within us. And while you're doing all this, how about let's ask ourselves quietly, what do I truly believe? What do I merely repeat? What gives me life? And at the same time, what creates fear, shame, and separation? Those are some good questions to kind of sit on as we ground ourselves and we create that environment for discernment. As we continue to breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose or mouth. And it's okay if these answers to these questions that I'm about to repeat don't come to you right away. That's not the point of this. I want this to really just sink in a little bit and kind of just really evaluate it a little bit more just to see where we are, what we are about, and what we represent truthfully from within. Excuse me. And again, just ask yourself, what do I truly believe? What do I merely repeat? What gives me life? What creates fear, shame, or separation? As we breathe in and as we breathe out, those are some questions I want us to kind of focus on and sit in for a little, let sink in for a little bit rather. As we do one more inhale through our nose, again, 3 to 5 second inhale, holding your breath for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly exhaling through the nose or through the mouth. Again, just for about 3 to 5 seconds without a doubt. And I just want to let you know that when at least when I think of conviction, for me, it feels like, well, lately it's been feeling like a deep invitation towards alignment, right? That's how I personally have been feeling about conviction for the most part, right? And it may challenge you as it has challenged me before, but it does not require you to abandon compassion. That's the conviction aspect of it. Now, going back to dogma, dogma, it's funny how dogma can be. It can definitely be a dog, that's for sure. And it can definitely bark when absolutely necessary. And it can definitely bite you in the ass if absolutely necessary. Because dogma often says, do not question, do not examine, do not listen outside the approved answer. It wants you to maintain it wants you to be maintained under this system of control to where it's like you believe everything you see and hear and read and all of these things. And honestly, dogma, again, there's dogma in all areas. I mean, there's dogma definitely in religion, definitely in politics. You can make an argument there's dogma in social media or health. I can go on and on and on. But at this point, we can combat dogma not only with just conviction, but with discernment. Because discernment says seek truth, examine the fruit, stay humble, be willing to grow, things that we may have heard many, many a times, and at the time we were probably like, "Yeah, yeah, I know all of these things already." Well, if you know all of these things already, then why aren't you practicing them consistently? Why do you keep ending up in the same situation over and over again if you're quote unquote practicing seeking truth or staying humble or being willing to grow and examining the fruit for what it truly is? And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to create space for thoughtful faith, honest reflection, and a quieter kind of knowing. That being said, now would be the good time to go into our first poetry piece for today. You know what? We're gonna title this "Conviction and Dogma" because honestly, this is pretty much the theme. And if you haven't been paying attention to the cave within, usually every poetry piece I do is based off of the theme for the exact conversation that we're gonna have. So our first poem is called "Conviction and Dogma." It goes like this. Conviction is a compass held gently in the hand. It points towards truth without pretending to own the whole horizon. It gives direction but leaves room for wonder. Dogma can become a locked room with a single window and one approved view of sky. And anyone who asks for another angle is called last before they are heard. Conviction invites the conscious to wait. Dogma demands the conscious to sleep. One says, walk this way because it leads towards love. The other says, walk this way because questions are dangerous. So I am learning to listen deeply, to test the fruit, to examine the fear, to ask whether my certainty has made me kinder or merely louder. Because truth does not fear an honest question. Conviction and dogma. Conviction and dogma. That's what it is, man. That's truly, truly what it is. Again, conviction often it feels like that deep invitation towards alignment. So it's like if you're questioning where you're at in this particular point of your life, maybe this is some time to do some inner cave work. That way you can accept that deep invitation to where you, yes, you can unlock the hidden potential to your mind, body, spirit, your heart, your gut, and your overall soul. And quite honestly, that's how you overcome the fitness mirage, ironically enough. Get your copy of the Fitness Mirage. It's on Amazon still. It really is and isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But let's go ahead and run back that first poem one more time, y'all. Let me know how y'all are feeling in the chat. For those who are watching on live, and speaking of it, you can watch on live, kicks.com/ Mr. Did Not Give Up 44 at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44. Y'all subscribe, y'all tip, y'all share every single live broadcast to those who may need it. And for those who are watching on the replay on Rumble at CPHFWB44, let me know how you're feeling in the comments about this first poem. Without a doubt, it feels so good to be back here within the cave within, I must say. Been a while, y'all. It has definitely been a while. We're running back the first poem once more, Conviction and Dogma. Conviction is a compass held gently in the hand. It points towards truth without pretending to own the whole horizon. It gives direction but leaves room for wonder. Dogma can become a locked room with a single window, one approved view of the sky. And anyone who asks for another angle is called lost before they are heard. Conviction invites the conscious to wake. Dogma commands the conscious to stay asleep. One says, walk this way because it leads towards love. The other says, walk this way because questions are dangerous. So I am learning to listen deeply, to test the fruit, to examine the fear, to ask whether my certainty has made me kinder or merely louder. Because truth does not fear an honest question, conviction, and dogma. Let that settle, y'all. Let that settle like always, because a belief worth keeping should be able to withstand sincere examination. Woo! We cooking in the cave within on this midweek deep flow. I don't think y'all understand me. A belief worth keeping should be able to withstand sincere examination. Because let's be honest, man, conviction does give direction, but healthy conviction remains teachable. See, healthy conviction does not confuse confidence with superiority. It does not need to dehumanize someone else to feel secure. And when you examine a belief, any kind of belief system that's out there, I want you to ask yourself this from now on going forward. Does this make me feel more loving? Does this make me more honest? Does this make me more accountable? Does this help me serve others? Better yet, does this produce peace, courage, and responsibility? Ooh, wee. I got a lot of questions for everyone who's tuning into this live broadcast of the Cave Within. Again, let me run those back so I really want each of these to sink in. When you examine a belief, ask yourself, does this make me more loving? Does this make me more honest? Does this make me more accountable? Does this help me serve others? And does this produce peace, courage, and responsibility? Again, just some questions to think about and just some questions to kind of help things sink in just a little bit more. But for the sake of keeping the flow going, this deep midweek flow within the cave within, let's move on to another piece, shall we? As you know, here within the cave within, we always like to do at least two poetry readings, sometimes three, but for sure two, because I always want to give y'all that 1-2 punch every time. Second poem is this, the question. I ask the question, and the room becomes colder, not because the question was cruel, not because the question was false, but because certainty has mistaken itself for God. Still, I ask, not to destroy belief, but discover whether belief could survive the light. And somewhere beyond the fear of being wrong, I found a deeper faith, one that did not collapse when examined, one that did not need to silence every voice to remain standing, one that understood a question can be a doorway, a doubt can be a teacher, a sincere search can still be sacred. The question, y'all. The question, baby. Again, just letting that settle here for just a moment. I really do want that to settle here for a moment. Because we all have questions, and the question does exist until the question is solved. That's for sure. The question does exist until the question is solved. My apologies. My apologies. A lot going on here within the cave within, without a doubt. But I wanted to run back this second poetry piece one time to question before we dive into our meditation for the evening, without a doubt. Again, the second poem of this Cave Within broadcast, July 22nd, 2026. Be sure to subscribe to kicks.com / Mr. Did Not Give Up 44 at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44. Let me know how y'all are feeling in the chat if you're watching this live on Kicks. And if you're watching the replay on my Rumble channel, let me know in the comments how you're feeling as well. Second poetry piece, the question. I ask the question and the room becomes colder, not because the question was cruel, not because the question was false, but because certainty has mistaken itself for God. Still, I ask, not to destroy belief, but to discover whether belief could survive the light. And somewhere beyond the fear of being wrong, I found a deeper faith, one that did not collapse when examined, one that did not need to silence every voice to remain standing, one that understood a question can be a doorway, a doubt could be a teacher, and a sincere search could still be sacred. The question, the question. If you know, you know. Sometimes the question is not rebellion or it doesn't mean to start rebellion. Sometimes it's the beginning of a more honest relationship with truth. Sometimes a question can help establish clarity of your own inner knowing. Sometimes a question can help you see things more clearly in every situation and scenario you're involved in, to where you could see things more clearly as far as what's going on around you. Since when is becoming awakened and aware of what's going on within you and around you such a bad thing? If anything, that seems like more conviction, which is something that we need more of in 2026 and beyond, versus dogma, if you were to ask me. But hey, that's how I feel overall. Too much dogma and not enough conviction when it should be the other way around. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a black man living in a white man's world who's very awoke and very aware of what is going on right now, and that's pretty much what it is. That is pretty much what it is. But anywho, enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead and transition into our ambient immersion for the evening. And for all my regular broadcast listeners, y'all already know what time it is. For my first time listeners, we're going to move now into the deeper ambient section. This is less of myself talking. It's going to be more sound, more space, more stillness. Matter of fact, we're going to make that transition right now as we speak. Give me 1 second here. We're going to set the mood right. And again, this section is for study, prayer, journaling, reflection, sleep, or simply just being present in the moment, relaxing, unwinding, winding yourself down, whatever the case may be. That's what this section here in particular is truly all about. So as we begin the soundscape, we listen to the forest stream sounds, the gentle bird song playing in the background, just the overall relaxing vibration of sounds of nature, right? As we begin to close our eyes or soften our gaze, let's begin to, again, like we were doing in our grounding earlier, breathe in through our nose for 3 to 5 seconds, hold your breath for 3 to 5 seconds, and exhale slowly for 3 to 5 seconds. As we breathe in through our nose, as we breathe out through our nose or mouth, I want us to notice any tension or stress that we may be experiencing within our body. And I want us to detach ourselves from any stress or tension that we may be experiencing within our body. As a matter of fact, let's detach ourselves from our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our overall ego, and let's become the observer and the watcher of the stillness and awareness that's within ourselves, because we are one with the stillness and one with the awareness of within ourselves and all around us. As we breathe in As we breathe out, as we dive deeper into the soundscape, I want the body to hear these words that I can seek truth without panic. I can question hatred. I can question without hatred. I can remain humble while I learn. And I can follow conviction without becoming rigid. And as we dive deep into this meditation, I want those words to really sink into the mind, body, and spirit. And like always, if your mind wanders, simply just return to the power of your breath. And once again, I shall return. You are tuned in to the Cave Within, your live digital sanctuary for all things poetry, meditation, and stillness. We shall be right back. Oh man, welcome back to the Cave Within, your live digital sanctuary for all things poetry, meditation, and stillness. We are here still live on Kicks.com / Mr. Did Not Give Up 44 at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44. Feels good to be back. It feels good to be back. But yes, as we are still in our deep ambient frequency block. Continuing to breathe in through your nose, breathing out through your nose or mouth. If your mind has been wandering, it's okay. Let's just return back to our breath. And if emotions rise, let's notice it without judgment. And if clarity comes, let's allow it to arrive slowly, y'all. And just let the sound create room around your thoughts, releasing any tension or stress that we may be experiencing from the roots of our feet to the crown on top of our head, like always. Staying curious, staying still, and letting the stillness reveal what the noise has been hiding as we continue to stay grounded. And as always, as we come back in, slowly but surely attaching ourselves to our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our ego, everything from within, acknowledging and accepting and embracing it for what it truly is. And let's inhale through our nose for 3 to 5 seconds, holding our breath for 3 to 5 seconds, and let's exhale slowly through our nose or through our mouth for 3 to 5 seconds. We'll do that once more, inhaling through the nose, again, for just 3 to 5 seconds, holding our breath for 3 to 5 seconds. Let's go ahead and exhale slowly once more for about 3 to 5 seconds. And we'll do that one more time together as we again just inhale through our nose for 3 to 5 seconds, holding our breath for 3 to 5 seconds. And then let's go ahead and just exhale slowly for 3 to 5 seconds. And just take a moment, notice how you're feeling from within. If you feel a nice, warm, buzzing, tingling sensation within you, that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly fine. That's what you call your chi energy, which is pretty much the energy and the feelings and sensations that are within you formulated around your oxygen and the blood that flows throughout your whole entire body. As we begin to come back together, I want to invite a gentle reflection, as I always do after every meditation, after every ambient frequency block immersion in a cave within. Let me know how y'all are feeling in the chat if you're watching this live on Kicks, and let me know how you're feeling in the comments as well if you're watching it on replay via RUM. Just place one word in the chat, in the comments. Whatever is true is always welcome here within the cave within. And again, just consider these questions. Where am I being guided by genuine conviction? Where might I be repeating something without examining it? Has my certainty made me more compassionate or more closed? What belief or habit is asking for a deeper look? Again, you do not have to share anything deeply personal in the chat or in the comments. And if the answers don't come to these questions right away, that's perfectly okay. Just sit with them just for a moment is all that I could ever ask for. And quick heads up before we continue and before we wind things down here in this live broadcast within the cave within. For those who want to take this sanctuary with you beyond the live stream, check out the nighttime sanctuary relaxation sets available through the HFWB Gumroad store. That's GUMROAD store. I have the nighttime sanctuary volume 1 through 3 pack live and direct. And believe me, there will be more nighttime sanctuary volume packs coming very, very soon. Definitely as we close down out the summer, there will be new nighttime sanctuary volume packs on the way. But in the meantime, you could check out the nighttime sanctuary volume 1 pack, which basically consists of two poetry, two guided meditation sessions, one guided meditation on leadership and letting go of fear, led by yours truly, of course. You got the Nighttime Sanctuary Volume 2 pack, which are two personal poems of mine that you could take with you on the go to provide inspiration through the power of poetic justice. One poem called Taking Action, and another poem called Energy and Vibrations. In the Nighttime Sanctuary Volume 3 pack, you also have two poems and one guided meditation. One poem on the crown, one poem on the return, and a nice guided meditation on inner love and light. Again, more Nighttime Sanctuary Volume packs on the way. There should be some more coming definitely to kick off the month of August, so stay tuned for that. You just got yourself an exclusive within the Cave Within. And while you're at the Gumroad store, courtesy of HFWB, um, not to mention, you could also get the audio book for the Infinity Chakras poetry book, which is, of course, my poetry book that I wrote on all seven Infinity Chakras. And by the way, stay tuned for the Crown Chakra Night. That is something that you do not want to miss out on this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it on Saturday or Sunday, but more than likely, it's probably going to be Sunday, so we could tap into our crown to close out the week. So be on the lookout for Crown Chakra Night this coming Sunday, which will be June the 26th. So mark your calendar and save your date for that one. That's going to be very, very special. I can assure you that. Um, Not to mention, of course, you can buy, of course, the audiobook for the Infinity Chakra Journey Within. And for my book, The Fitness Mirage, you can buy the audiobook version of both of those books in the HFWB Gumroad store. And also, you can buy, of course, the Infinity Chakra poetry book and the Fitness Mirage book. They're available on Amazon still in ebook and paperback, along with all of my books that I've written. They're available on Amazon via ebook and paperback, majority of them. And not to mention at all, before I forget, Oh yeah, before I forget, of course, be sure to subscribe to the HFWB podcast series. That's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. It's on Rumble. I just put out part two of my conversation that I had with Dr. Janiqua Benoit. Definitely want to check out that conversation if you haven't already, part one and two, so it can make sense. And I did put out the July 2026 installment of the Spiritual Enlightenment series, to where we break down the concept of holy hustle. And as a matter of fact, that might be a future theme that I may talk about within the next broadcast. Who knows? That way I can bring it to the cave within. Again, who knows? I'm just thinking ahead and thinking out loud all at the same time. But subscribe to the HFWB podcast series. That way you don't miss a single conversation. Be sure to like and share with anyone who needs to hear it and leave a rating and review. That way more people can be in tune with it. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I am an ISA certified personal trainer, exercise transformation specialist. I'm still accepting clients as we speak. So if you're ready to move beyond inspiration and build practical change, the HFWB Holistic Fitness and Exercise Transformation Program is still open for business, and it's here to help you strengthen your body, mind, spirit, energy, and daily rhythm. The program can support you with mindful movement, exercise transformation, breath work, stress reset practices, sustainable routines, and a more grounded approach to your overall health. And this is available in person. It's available virtually as well. If you're interested for a free consultation, contact me at 361-765-4760, my personal phone number, or you can just email me at cpope.cp@gmail.com. Again, cpope.cp@gmail.com, without a doubt. And also, oh yeah, one last thing. If you're looking forward to new resources that I just released within the HFWB Gumroad store, again, plenty more resources coming your way within the next week. Trust me on that, as I'm always cooking up something in the lab. You got your HFWB Success Planner for those who are looking to simply just find a way to plan their goals, whether it's your health, business tasks, wealth plan, or any additional resources you can think of. HFWB Success Planners available in the HFWB Gumroad store. Not to mention, you have my official meal prep guide for mindful nutrition and eating to live. That's available on my HFWB Gumroad store. It'll help you plan out your choices for better nutrient dense foods, your guidance on portions, and basically just establish basic principles for your proper meal planning. And lastly, can't forget about this, you got the official Glow Up Journal, y'all. And this will help you glow up based on the things you're grateful for. It'll help you capture those thoughts and dreams and wins that you've been having or experiencing. It'll help you gather each lesson that you learned every day, self examination, or so much more to help you keep you on track of your growth journey. That is the Glow Up Journal HFWB edition on the HFWB Gumroad store as we speak. So definitely check that out. And I just want to thank y'all once again for tuning in to the deep midweek flow here within the cave within. This has been such a fantastic time, without a doubt. I'm grateful that y'all take time wherever you may be, however you may be listening to the cave within, whether you're listening live on kicks.com / Mr. Did Not Give Up 44 at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44. If you haven't subscribed to the platform, what are you waiting for? Do it right now. That way you could tune into every live broadcast within this digital sanctuary for your balanced fusion of poetry, meditation, and stillness. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? So be sure to do that if you haven't already. And again, thank y'all for being here inside the cave within. Thank y'all for allowing me to come in hot like always. And I thank y'all for just simply being here in the cave within, because this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you, that's for sure. And I want y'all to remember as we close out, conviction can give you direction. Discernment can keep you humble, and truth does not need fear to defend it. Again, conviction can give you direction. Discernment can keep you humble, and truth does not need fear to defend it. Fight fear with truth, baby. My name is Clifton Pope, and I've been your guide of the cave within, courtesy of Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, for the restless souls, for the night healers, for the deep feelers. I want y'all to, once again, like always, breathe deep, stay curious, and stay grounded. And I'll see y'all on the next broadcast of the Cave Within live stream, your digital sanctuary for all things poetry, meditation, and stillness. Peace, love, and chi, y'all. Till next time.